Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was really fascinated by this film. It's such a beautiful mix of like mythology and horror elements. What was it that first attracted you to it, and what made you want to play the role of Navina?
Well, when Goran sent me the script, he wasn't sure what role should I play because he was constantly changing cast and thinking about it. But the first time I read the script, it's like I it was fascinating for me how you can combine something as a mystery and a horror with a very intimate story that is very powerful and touching. So really that made me love the script, and I just couldn't stop reading it. I love
Un-
it.
Understandable. What I really love too is how silence is such an important part of the story, even though, of course, we have the character's narration, so we are privy to thoughts at certain points, but at the same time, you really have to act with your whole body or just with your expression, separating it from your voice. How do you prepare for that?
Well, with Goran, we did the voiceover before we started filming, which was for me at the beginning very weird because I thought like, how can I then follow the story while filming, but at the end it looked perfectly. I mean, it worked perfectly because everything that we did before with the storyline and the emotion during the movie with the voiceover, we tried to follow it during the filming, and it was actually made it easier. But anyway, it's super challenging and super amazing to play a character without having to say anything. It's just, trying to use your body, your expression, your emotion, everything you have through your eyes.
Mm.
So yeah, that's a good girl's choice.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Also, there's so much like duality just in your relationships to the people in your life, even starting off when you are, you know, trapped with only your mother that you get to see, and
Mm.
yet she's at once your protector and your captor in a way. What is that dynamic like? How does Navina feel in that first act, if you will?
The thing about the old characters of the movie is that you can justify their characters, their actions when you see they're doing like bad and evil stuff. And it's everyday life. We can see how society creates like people. So that's how this is amazing, but that's how you see it also. And you cannot even judge someone because you can understand their path and their pain. So this is one of the amazing things that Goran written as a characters.
Absolutely. There's a lot of filming outside or just, among the elements in this film.
Hmm.
How do you physically prepare for that, or what was that experience like for you?
Outside, well, the main inspiration about creating the character was a report of a girl called Ginny. It's an American story of a girl who's been kept isolated for 13 years by her parents. It's not a very good story, but there's a report of her going outside for the first time, and the way how she looked at stuff, her posture of the body, her how afraid she was, how excited and curious she was in the same time was for me like unlocking the character, and this is the starting point. So because it was a character that is shared by many actors and actresses, so this was like a basic from where we start. It was super helpful. And then also, of course, the character transforms and develops. And with the lead of Goran, we did it as we did it.
Mhm. Speaking of those transformations, you as an actor physically disappear from the role at some point, but the character remains, and what you've brought to that role remains through each life, if we want to call
Yes.
it that. So, what is it like to follow her through that journey, even when you're not on screen to do it?
Well, when I was thinking of creating a character, I was not thinking of just the first part of the same character, but I was thinking of the whole character. And I think that we all actors did that. We had to go through all of the transformations so you can understand which part do you play. The thing is that we started with Goran on the same film. I mean, on the set, we started to film. We were first to start to film, and then the others were just adding the layers and layers and to create that whole. Yeah, of course, I was not in control of it. Goran was leading us to do it as better as it possibly can. But it's super challenging to one character that also has a transformation.
Yeah, I can imagine. How much of the more gruesome elements, if you will, or the magical elements were practical that you guys had to make happen on set versus happening after the fact?
There's no a lot of CGI, if that was the question.
Yes.
There are some obvious, of course, that you cannot open
Right.
anybody's body, but all of the let's say animals, they were created with prosthetic, and there was super real, and there was amazing Italian Australian slash makeup artist or prosthetic artist that had a great did a great job. And also with the nails, they were already done on set, but sometimes they fall, but they're made afterwards in CGI. But generally, most of the stuff are made on set.
That's fascinating. Now, throughout the film, the dynamic between you and Old Maid Maria is sort of the central relationship, if you will, and it's fraught with tension, but also everything that you have learned, you've kind of learned from her. What is it like to balance that relationship and also act alongside?
Well, the basic relationship with the character, I mean, my part of the character was her. So I had the beginnings of kind of developing a person. Who am I, and who is this person that is leading me, and so on. So everything is actually, the whole script is based on these two characters. So that was my main point of setting the relationship somehow is between those characters, if that was a question.
Yes. I really love the title in English, of course, You Won't Be Alone. And I was just wondering what it means for you. What is it that you read into the title of the film?
The title of the film really tells me it could be interesting because it's a genre film, it's horror film, that could be also dramatic film. So You Won't Be Alone can be very scary title, but in the same, You Won't Be Alone can tell you thing like you cannot be lonely, or we can find ourselves in the world. So this is the best title that you can pick for this kind of combination of genre and drama for this kind of film. So yeah, it's
I love that. I also was wondering how much, because it feels like such a specific story, like this myth, and then you also mentioned the story of Jenny that it's somewhat based on. Are there any myths or tropes that it derives from other than that?
Well, basically the stories about witches is more culturally Eastern Europe. It's not Balkan, but also the everyday oddity of the English word, the everyday things that people did were Macedonian. It's like you have to do this in order to have children, you have to do this. So it's combination of Eastern Europe mythology and Macedonian mythology that was amazingly combined. So yes, of course, there was a lot of research for being, in 19th century, and not only what anthropologically the people did, but their clothes, their way of acting. I mean, exposing the way of relationships between people. So there was a huge process of research.
Oh, definitely. What are you working on right now? What are your next career steps?
Well, in 2 days, starting with a new movie. Yeah, yes. So this year, I think I'm going to be based how the project goes in the Balkans. So I'm preparing several movies and a series. So
Oh, congratulations.
thank you
A
very
very
much.
busy person. Well, thank you so much. This movie was fascinating, and I cannot wait for the world to watch it.
Me too. Thank you very much for having
Thank
me.
you. Have a great day.